Good morning, class. I want to welcome you for this class. It's a physical science class, and I'm expecting that more members will be joining us in the shortest time possible so that we can start our class right in time. So I can see a few members streaming in. Let me admit more. Let us give them a few minutes to join the class so we can begin. So this is a physical science class, and we are going to be looking at chemistry, the chemistry part of it. I understand that in this physical science, there's also physics in it, but you'll be having another teacher for physics in the physical science. I'll be taking you through the chemistry part of physical science. So I can see people stream in, and in a short time, we can begin our class. So I can see a few members in. I can see Sylvia. I can see Said, and I can see more people in the lobby. I'll just admit them and we go right into serious work for today. So being a new unit, a new topic, today I'm just going to be looking at the introduction. And the introduction is the basics of chemistry, which is the atom. And that's what we're going to be looking at. As you're going to see from the slides I'm going to share to start presenting in a few minutes. So I think we have a quorum and you can get into serious business of the class for today. I'll just share my screen in a short while. Okay, so it's okay, we can start our class. So the objectives for this class are going to define the term atom. Objective number 2 will be to describe the inner and the outer structure of an atom. And objective number 3 will be to draw the structure of an atom. But since you're doing an online class, I'm just going to project my images of the structure of an atom, and the student is going to draw them in their own books. So let us start. What is an atom? From your high school chemistry, who can tell us what an atom is? You studied structure and bonding in Form 2. So I want to assume that some of you took chemistry, as I saw in the admissions, and can define for us the term atom. Yes, so an atom is defined as the smallest part of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction or what we call a chemical change. And the atoms are often referred to as the building blocks of matter. And by saying building blocks, we mean that there's no chemistry that can occur without the atom, because the atom is what builds elements, and elements come to compounds and mixtures and what have you. So chemistry is nothing without the atom. And you can say that each element of the periodic table is composed of only one type of atom, meaning that if it's more than one atom, it ceases to be an element and it becomes something else, especially if there are two or more. We call them compounds, and we are going to be looking at them after this class. When after knowing about atoms, elements, we shall go into compounds. So what about the inner structure of an atom? So when we talk about the inner structure of an atom, we mean the center of the atom. What is contained at the center of the atom? We find something we call a nucleus. And a nucleus is a small, dense, and positively charged center of an atom which contains most of the atom's mass. And we usually say it's positively charged because it contains neutrons and protons, and neutrons have no charge. So the charge of the protons takes it. The inner structure of an atom. So the nucleus contains the following subatomic particles: the protons, which are positively charged, and the neutrons, which have no charge. So for the outer structure of an atom, you'll find that this is what is outside the atom. And we can see we have an electron cloud, which is an area around the nucleus where the electrons are likely to be found orbiting around the nucleus in several energy levels. So wherever the electrons are, we call them electron cloud. Where they're concentrated, we call them electron cloud. And you're going to see what is contained in the electron cloud, where the specific electrons are. So we find that in the electron cloud, we have energy levels, and this is the exact location where there is high probability of electrons being found. And you know that electrons are negatively charged, and therefore the outer structure of an atom is largely negatively charged. So as you can see, we have multiple energy levels in the electron cloud, and each energy level carries a specific amount of electrons. Like the innermost energy level carries only 2 electrons. As we go out in the outer energy levels, we find that they can carry up to a maximum of 18 electrons. So the bigger the atom, the more the energy levels. And you also find that the electrons in the outermost energy level, we call them valence electrons or free electrons, and they're those that can take part in a chemical reaction. And we shall look at this in detail in our next unit of the periodic table and how reaction occurs. So this is an image of the structure of an atom. And you can see that we have circles, and those circles is where on those lines is what we call electron orbits, or what we call electron shells, or energy levels, where there is a high chance of electrons being found. Then you can see at the center of the atom, we have positively charged particles and ones that do not have any charge. So the ones that do not have any charge are called neutrons, and the ones that have positive charge are called protons. So that is what we were to learn today to understand the structure of an atom, the inner and the outer structure, and how this atom looks like. So you can note this in your books. I can give you 1 minute to note that to draw that in your book, and also invite anybody who has a question to ask. Any question? So there being no question, I assume that all of you are comfortable. And I would want us to recap what we've done in this lesson. So we've looked at the definition of the term atom. We've looked at the structure of an atom, the inner and the outer structure, and we've also looked at how to draw how the atom looks like from in form of drawing. So who can define for us an atom? Yes, Sylvia, tell us what an atom is. Sylvia, tell us what an atom is. I can see you. Okay, thank you. That is true. And you've also looked at the outer structure.
An atom is the smallest particle of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction.
Okay, thank you, Sylvia. So you've also looked at the inner structure of an atom and the outer structure of an atom. And you say that the inner structure of an atom contains the nucleus, which has the protons and the neutrons, and the outer structure contains of the energy levels and the electrons. So having said that, I want you to do an assignment for me. and I want you to draw the structure of the atom of sodium and label all the parts and also indicate electrons in all the energy levels. And that assignment is 5 marks, and I'll be collecting it in the next class. So I want us to break for today, and thank you for listening.